This week on This is Gravel, we have Queens Court, we have Tailwind, lots of Tailwind, we have a lot of social media, we have your pretty little faces, and what else do we have?
Got my interview with Jeff Vierling, the CEO, founder of Tailwind.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. Hey, this is Gravel. I'm Bobby Thompson. Sitting next to me today is Neil, the man, Taylor, Minister of Gravel. Is that what they say? Is that right?
That's what they say.
Minister of Gravel. I like
that. They say
that.
this guy's the casual cyclist.
Well, casual. You know, casual can also mean lazy,
Yeah.
and lazy fits me pretty well. So depending on how many naps I take throughout the day. What's been going on, Neil?
Oh, not a lot. I mean, got out for a nice 55-mile ride this past weekend. It was fantastic. Getting out.
Just on your own? Or?
Yeah, just on my own. I just, some gravel therapy, if you will. Got out and rode out towards Reading. Haven't been out that way in a long time. Went out northeast of Reading a couple miles. Ran into Lake Melbourne. Ran into a bridge that was missing. Got to cross a creek and get all covered in mud in the process, but it was a fantastic ride.
What was the weather like on Saturday? I'm trying to remember.
Saturday was pretty windy.
Wasn't it? It was decent, though.
Beautiful day.
Yeah.
I mean, temperature-wise, we were mid-50s up, to maybe low 60s. But the wind was brutal. Once I turned back towards Emporia, the wind had shifted and it was right out of the west, and so I fought a west hill coming back into Lyon County the whole rest of the way. But it was a good ride, and then after that, the kids wanted to ride, so I got them out in that wind, and both kids did some riding in that wind, and they got a little wore out, but it was good. What have you been up to, Bobby?
You know, my daughter Reagan loves it when I go do a long ride before I ride with her, because then she's able to beat me up the climbs afterwards.
Yes.
So, yeah, she loves that too. So, it's, man, it's been so busy. We've been busy at work and down at the bike shop and busy at home, and everything's been busy. We've had the holidays coming up. I did get out and ride last weekend. I just did, I think I did a couple of 30-milers, and that's all I did. One was in-house and one was out. One was on the trainer, one was outside. So Saturday was beautiful. Sunday was 40 degrees and sleet, right? For Easter this year?
Freezing rain. It was pretty cold, pretty miserable.
I don't usually ride in sleet. That's not very casual.
Yeah,
so
really
that's more hardcore. So it was good. This week we have quite a bit of riding that's coming up in Emporia, Kansas. We have, we have the build-up for the Dirty Kansas that starts around April, goes into May. Everyone starts getting excited about it. And this weekend is Dirty Kansas. DK Promotions is having their gravel camp that they have every year. They've had it for the past 3 years, I believe. So there'll be a bunch of new riders coming in town. Not officially a part of it, but it's always fun to, obviously it's a small town. We get out on the gravel, we'll go down to the pub, hang out, meet new people. A lot of guides coming in. Yuri's coming back in. Amanda's coming in. It's going to be a blast. So
yeah, it's always cool seeing everybody come to town a couple months before the race takes place. Get here, it kind of starts getting, I guess you could say, the vibe flowing in town that, hey, DK is here.
Yeah,
reality is we are 2 months away, just over 2 months away from DK. So having everybody here 2 months ahead of time really kind of, I think, turns on that switch for everybody, especially those maybe that have been a little too casual.
Right. It's time to start getting out and riding, absolutely. So this weekend there'll be a lot of people getting out and riding. Thursday is normally we have our Thursday night bike rides in Emporia, which we will still have this week. But going along at the same time as that, between 5:30 and 6:30, there's going to be a group ride in Emporia, Kansas. Who's all leading that, Matt? We got Amanda's going to be in that. Who's leading? Tracy's going to be in that. Okay, so it's going to be a blast to go out on that little group ride, a short group ride, and then they're going to come back and kind of have how do you do DK, right?
Yeah, just kind of a little Q&A session. I mean, you know, you get to speak with some people that have a lot of experience. I know Tracy's doing the DKXL.
Yeah.
Amanda's
Noman, Tracy Peterberry.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Amanda's 2-time winner. You know, so these ladies have experience. I know that I've learned from, you know, listening to them in the past. Last year, I know when they had the ladies roundtable also, I went to that.
Yeah.
And listening to Rebecca talk, and I know Rebecca's going to be Skyped in. I think also Allison is going to be Skyped in as well, and they'll have little interviews. There's always so much knowledge.
Sure.
Last year, Rebecca shared something about just keeping calm. You know, if you get excited before the race, you're burning calories. You know, if you get all jittery and everything, you start using calories for pre-race stuff. You want to save that up for the race, and so last year I entered a lot calmer than I had been in the past, and I felt like it helped me out of the gate a whole lot. So it's going to be, I think, a wealth of knowledge coming from these ladies. Looking forward to the ride, of course, before.
We're going to be live streaming that on Gravel Guru, and it will be archived at Gravel Guru's Facebook page afterwards. So if you missed the live stream, make sure and tune in whenever you'd like to watch it. So if you happen to go out on a Thursday night bike ride and then you want to watch it a little bit later, that's fine too. So yeah, it's going to be a great night. So
yeah, should be fun. Should be absolutely fun.
Neil, I see that you got some Tailwind.
Yeah, got some Tailwind. We're going to have a giveaway here a little bit later, but to kind of lead up to that, I had a chance to talk with Jeff Vierling, who's the CEO of Tailwind. He's the one that founded it. Got a chance to talk with him here, and we're going to look at that interview.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, today with us, we got Jeff Vierling. He's the founder and CEO of Tailwind Nutrition. Jeff, how you doing today?
Great. How are you, Neil?
Doing wonderful, Jeff. Thanks for coming on with us. First of all, just want to start off asking you, what really brought about for you founding Tailwind, starting a new nutrition company, especially when there are other ones out there?
Well, I was racing the Level 100, and I had a couple of years of pretty bad experiences where I trained really hard for it, and I had good energy and I was in good shape, but my nutrition really let me down, and my stomach turned into a brick, and I was also puking and having good fun. So I actually just started out trying to solve my own problem, and I really wanted to understand, why was I having these problems? Is there anything I could do that could fix them? And I tried just about every product on the market in training, and I just couldn't find something that was able to give me the calories and keep me going for that duration and that intensity. So I started diving into the medical research and on how our bodies process fuels. And when I dug into that, I found a couple things that really stood out to me. One issue was that a lot of endurance drinks contain protein, and protein is really challenging to digest. And actually, in the context of a race, you're burning more calories than you can take in. So you're always running a calorie deficit. And one of the things that happens because of that is that your body will try and utilize whatever you're eating as fuel. So it'll try and break that protein down into energy. And that actually can cost more calories in that process than you actually get out of that protein. So it's sort of a net negative from an energy standpoint, and also really hammers your gut. The second thing was that many of the products I was trying contained maltodextrin. And maltodextrin, you sometimes will hear it called like a complex carb. Maltodextrin is a chain of dextrose molecules, and dextrose is glucose. Glucose is the fuel that your muscles can burn readily. It's fuel for your brain and your central organs. It's the fuel that your body uses for like climbing hills or making sudden movements, clearing obstacles, anything that's kind of high intensity. That's what your muscles will burn. So maltodextrin is this chain of dextrose molecules, and that can be manufactured to different lengths. And what has to happen is that your small intestine will actually only absorb the individual molecules. So the chains have to be broken before those individual molecules can be absorbed. And if your digestive system isn't able to break those fast enough and you keep on ingesting at a higher rate, then that can all kind of back up and lead to you feeling like your stomach's not emptying and feeling full. So those were a couple of things that stood out to me. And so I decided to try and make my own brew that got around those problems.
I was going to say, did you make it in that kitchen there at the house? If I'm not mistaken, just started up blending it up together for yourself, and then you had friends asking for it, and before you know it, now it's grown quite a bit. And I for one definitely am thankful for it, because I had similar experiences to what you talk about. I tried a lot of different things that were out there on the market, and every single one would fail me. I was running into gut bombs 60, 70, 80 miles in. And I'm thankful for a friend that introduced me to Tailwind actually 80 miles into the Dirty Kansas 200, because it even changed my day mid-race there for me. And it was that digestion issues, my stomach not being able to keep up with some things. Part of what I love, too, about it is the simplicity. Is part of when you develop Tailwind, making it something that is simple for the users to use.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, the magic kind of, let me see if I could do this without wrecking it here, but like back here in the countertop back there, that's where I did a lot of the initial experimentation, and you can kind of see over my shoulder here, oh gosh, everything's reversed. There's a KitchenAid off there, and that's where I made the first batches. But simplicity is a big deal. I think, as you know, like when you're out there doing a race, it's really, I don't know about you, but my brain kind of goes south after a few hours, and it's pretty hard to keep track of what I did 10 minutes ago, let alone like, did I pop this electrolyte pill an hour ago, or did I, take this gel, or it's pretty complicated. And one Leadville I actually lined up against, like right next to a woman. She had a spreadsheet taped to her top tube, and then she had 2 timers mounted on her handlebars, and it was just kind of crazy, right? I was just sitting there like, wow, I've got Tailwind in my pack, and I'm just good to go. So that was, I partly was trying to combine the science of how our body fuels and how we absorb fuel with my experience as a racer myself, and that's definitely something that I felt like if I could get to where Tailwind was simple to use, and it just worked, then it just takes a lot of the stress away from trying to manage your nutrition.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, like I say, for myself, I know it's helped out a bunch, because I was running those same problems. 50 miles into a Dirty Kansas, I didn't know how many gels I'd popped or chomps that I've popped, along with whatever liquid nutrition I was taking in. And I'm not good at math anyways, so trying to do math while riding a bike, while 50 or 100 or 150 miles into a race, just did not work for me. And so the simplicity for me, I think, like I say, at least what you guys have put behind that has helped out a lot, not just myself, I know, but a lot of other riders. Next thing I really want to talk about is the new thing on the table for you guys. This year, you guys just released Rebuild, your recovery drink. Tell me a little bit about what brought you guys to decide to take that step into developing a recovery drink, and also how that works with the body.
Yeah, it's I'm really excited about it. I think it works really well, and we put a lot of effort into it. It's been about 18 months in the making. Almost since we launched Tailwind, people have asked for a recovery product, and our answer has kind of been like, well, keep on drinking Tailwind after you finish, because it's really good at rebuilding your glycogen stores, and then have a good meal, have a balanced meal with protein, with fat, carbohydrates, and that combination will help you to recover. And that's still probably good advice, but the reality is you don't always finish in your kitchen. You may not have the time to make that meal, and then consistency is sort of an issue. Like if you're able to, maybe you're able to do that one day, but not the next day, and if you're in a training cycle, then having consistent recovery is really important to keep on going. So we started looking at what was out there. as far as on the market. We started looking at the science behind recovery, what your body actually needs, and we set out to see if we could make something that was both better than the other products in the market, but also better than kind of chocolate milk, which is a big go-to for a lot of folks. So Rebuild kind of it hits a few really important things from a recovery standpoint. One is that you have this 30 to 60 minute window of insulin receptivity post-exercise. And insulin is what drives energy into your cells. In order to maximize that response, you have to have a pretty high amount of carbohydrate intake. So that's one thing that Tailwind, the Rebuild, is doing, is giving you that carbohydrate that can maximize your insulin response and push that energy into your cells. If you miss that window, then you just really can't recover in 24 hours. So it's really important that you hit that window and hit it hard.
Okay.
The second thing is, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
The second thing is protein. Gosh, I mean, there's a ton of recovery products out there and they all have protein. So protein's protein, right? Well, it turns out that that's actually not the case. What's utilized for rebuilding muscle is complete protein. And complete protein is comprised of the 9 essential amino acids. They're called essential because you have to ingest them. You can't, your body won't make them. You actually have to consume them. So those 9 essential amino acids have to be present in certain quantities and ratios to make a complete protein. And complete protein is what your body will use to rebuild muscle. Pretty much all protein sources have some complete and some incomplete. And the incomplete is either burned up as fuel or it has to be filtered out by the kidneys as waste. So what we did is, in keeping with Tailwind and its vegan nature and its simple nature, we started with a brown rice protein that's very easy to digest, and it's unlikely to cause any allergy issues. And then we built on top of that the amino acids to make a perfectly complete protein. So out of the 11 grams of protein that's in Tailwind, in Rebuild, 7.5 grams of that is complete. And what the science says is that you need about 15 grams total of complete protein for a recovery from a really hard effort. So, so if you take, you could take two of the Rebuilds, or you could have a Rebuild and then have some food is the way to hit it. And when you compare that to kind of some other products in the market, most of them you'd need to take 3 times their serving to get the same amount of complete protein that's in Rebuild. So we feel like we've done something that's really, it's really a much more efficient protein. It won't hammer your kidneys, which is kind of an issue right after you're dehydrated and right when you finish. And it's vegan also. And then the third thing is the electrolytes and just meeting the World Health Organization standards for rehydration with your electrolytes. So that helps you to retain the water that you need in order to process that protein and those carbohydrates. I think also now we kind of combine it with the other part of it, which is taste and then just convenience. A lot of the recovery products are really hard to mix, or you might need to use a blender or put them into a milk or something. So we wanted something that you'd be able to utilize right when you finish. And so Rebuild actually mixes pretty easily just with water in a bottle. You don't need a special bottle or a blender or a refrigerator or anything like that. And then it tastes really good. And I don't know how much you've experienced with recovery products, but particularly like the vegan ones are awful.
Yeah, I've had some before, and the taste is. Some other ones can be brutal, no doubt. But the chocolate, the vanilla, both of them, I've had a chance to try them. I know you guys rolled it out to some of us Trailblazers back in the summer, and the taste, was good. I know when you guys were working on it then. I know we got some more around Christmas. The taste is fantastic, in my opinion. compared to a lot of the recoveries that are out there.
I'm glad to hear that. Because, like none of the technical advantages matter at all if it tastes bad, right?
Yeah, no, if it's not tasting good, let's just face it. I usually will try a recovery drink for a day or two, and then I'm like, you know what? I just can't handle the taste of it anymore. Whereas this, I know we've got some here in our shop at Gravel City in Emporia, Kansas. The first day they had it in, I went and picked it up because they got it before you guys even had it on the online site. I know today, this, like I said, will be airing a little bit later, but today it released on the online site, and my plan's to get home here in a little bit and order some more because the taste is better. It is a lot better than what I've gone through a lot of different recovery drinks, both in my cycling time. I used to run a lot as well, and I've never found one that has quite the good taste that this has, plus also the fact I bounce back quick. When you guys rolled it out last summer, that was the first thing I noticed was I could ride 50 miles in the heat, here in Kansas in the middle of the summer and go home and, have some rebuild and feel like I could get right back out the next day and pop out another 50 or 60 miles with no problem. Jeff had one last question here for you. With lots of products that are on the market, what do you want people to know about Tailwind if they're considering or looking for? Because I know a lot of times here at the show we get people that write in, email myself, Matt, Bobby, wanting to know about nutrition. What would you like those folks to know about Tailwind?
Well, I think as a company, what we set out to do is to help people to achieve their goals. If that's, maybe that's just finishing an event or, or setting a PR, all the way up to podium. But our goal is to help you get there. And I know from my own experience how difficult nutrition can be to dial in and to figure it out and find something that really works well for you. So we've kind of figured that if we can help athletes do that, then the business part will kind of take care of itself. So that's what I want people to know is that we're here. We answer a lot of questions. We help people to figure out their problems or to adjust their strategies so that they can be successful in what they're trying to do. And then our products, I think we talked a lot about that, but they're very simple. And the reason for that is that we only want to put in the things that are proven to work. We're not trying to sell you on pixie dust or, magical unicorn substances that make you go 30% faster. We're just giving you what is scientifically proven to improve your performance and to help you be able to go all day and then turn around and go do it the next day. So that's what we're all about.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, hey, one thing you did mention there too is just the fact you guys answer any questions and do want to let folks know. One of the things that struck me very early on, besides obviously Tailwind working for me, was the fact that you guys were always quick to respond to any question. I know whether it was on Facebook or Instagram or even emailing, you guys were always quick to get back. Customer service is top notch, and so I appreciate that just personally, the fact that you guys have always been there to answer questions and help me understand how the product works. Because for me, I just, it's, hey, it worked on race day, awesome, keep using it. But to learn a little more of the science, how it actually, affects my body versus other products, I appreciate that kind of stuff. So thank you.
Thank you. I think we all get it. Like we're all athletes too, and so we totally understand how hard it is to figure it out.
Awesome. Well, hey Jeff, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Jeff. Great interview, Jeff. We appreciate that. I love Tailwind. You got to see there in the interview, right in the back, the blender that he started it all in. He started making this stuff that has helped me, helped a lot of other cyclists. Part of what we want to do with this interview and with this episode is do a giveaway. Tailwind sends me this stuff as one of their ambassadors, or they call them the Trailblazers. And the thing is, it's not for me, it's for you. And so what we're going to do here this coming week, over the next, I think, actually few weeks, right, Bobby?
Sure.
Next few weeks, is we're going to do a social media giveaway. Make sure that you are tagging your pictures, as always, with This Is Gravel, because that's important. But then also tag them with Go Tailwind. Put that hashtag Go Tailwind, hashtag This Is Gravel, and you can win yourself this beautiful Gravel Guru hat, as well as a sample pack of all of the 7 flavors that Tailwind has to offer. Plus, tattoo. Who doesn't like tattoos?
Am I eligible for this?
No.
Oh.
And stickers, because who also doesn't like stickers? People that are not eligible are the 2 you see here. Producer Matt. Sorry, Matt. Can't win this one either. But we want to see those pictures. We love the social media. And in fact, I think we got some pictures to look at right now.
Hey, thanks Bobby and Neil. We did have a ton of social media this week come in using the hashtag ThisIsGravel. First up, we've got Brian out riding in the Capitol Forest near Olympia, Washington. Cassie Krotz was riding south of Emporia, Kansas out in the Flint Hills. Krista was riding near Dubuque, Iowa. Dawn did 64 miles on the Des Plaines River Trail in northeast Illinois with Cindy. Edsel was out exploring the Florida Everglades. Hardy was out riding on the St. Francis National Park near Marianna, Arkansas. Josh got out for 54 miles of cold weather, but great gravel outside near Cedar Falls, Iowa. Kate was out on the Middle Fork section of the Ozark Trail. Katie did a 73-mile loop, Wichita to Douglas, Kansas. Kurt was out exploring southern Idaho. Mark was out riding in Catalonia, Spain. Mike got in a 71-mile ride this week. Robert checked out the Red River Riot in windy North Texas. Seems like a lot of our followers were there at that Spinistry event. And Todd Matthews was near Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. Thanks to everybody that's always following us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel. Keep the photos coming, and we'll feature them next week on This Is Gravel.
Thank you all for the social media. Make sure, we love seeing the pictures come in. Make sure you hashtag This Is Gravel as you send things to us. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the next new social media platform is. We would love to hear about it so we can jump on board. We have the Minister of Gravel on Instagram, and we have the Casual Cyclist on Instagram. I always have to laugh a little bit because, let's face it, it's Neil and Bobby. Right. So, love to hear from you. Can't wait to see more, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.